Clara is a beautiful, smart young lady married to John, the rich, powerful businessman. It was an arranged marriage they accepted for their parents and their companies. They always act distant from each other and act like strangers. But one night, they were drunk, and something not expected happened. And after that night, they live again as a stranger. But this week, Clara noticed that she's been a little dizzy and tired these days, and she diced to do the pregnancy test. Now she's frozen in front of the mirror of the bathroom watching the pregnancy test with the positive results. That's meant she's pregnant. "Oh, God," she said, shocked, not knowing to be happy or nervous. "Are you okay, Clara? You've been there at the bathroom for 1 whole hour," John said, little worried, knocking that door of the bathroom. Clara quickly hid the pregnancy test under the sink and tried to act normal. "Clara, I'm fine, don't worry." Then she opened the bathroom door and forced a fake smile on her face. "Clara, I'm fine. I just had a bad stomach ache, that's all." John stared at her for a moment, clearly didn't believe her. "John, are you sure you look a little pale?" he said, and placed his hand on her cheek gently. Clara tried to maintain her composure, but the touch of his hand on her cheek made her feel a mix of emotions. "I'm fine, really. It's just a passing thing," she said, trying to sound convincing but avoiding his gaze. John continued to stare at her, his concern growing. "You have been feeling dizzy these days and now you look pale," he said, and leaned against the doorframe, folding his arms across his chest. "You're hiding something from me, Clara." Clara took a deep breath, feeling her heart pounding in her chest. She knew she couldn't keep the truth hidden forever, but she was scared of how he would react. It's nothing really. Just a bit of stress, that's all." She tried to dismiss it, but her voice wavered slightly. John pushed himself away from the doorframe, taking a step towards her. "John, don't lie to me, Clara. I can see it in your eyes," he said, his tone firm but gentle. "Tell me what's going on." Clara hesitated for a moment, her heart racing. She didn't know how to say it, but she knew she couldn't hide it from him any longer. "Clara, I'm pregnant," she finally said quietly, looking away from him. John stood there in silence, his mind trying to process what she just said. He was clearly shocked. John slightly stunned. "You're pregnant?" he asked, his voice shaking a little. Clara nodded, her eyes filling with tears. "Yes. I did the test just now," she said, looking down at her hands. I wasn't sure how to tell you." John closed his eyes for a moment, trying to take it all in. He then looked back at her, his expression still shocked but also holding a hint of excitement. "John, we're gonna have a baby," he said softly, the realization starting to sink in. Clara looked up at him, her eyes teary but also hopeful. "Yes, we are. I'm scared but also excited." She took a step towards him. "What do you think?" John's expression softened as he saw the mix of emotions on her face. He took another step closer to her, now standing in front of her. "I'm shocked, don't get me wrong. But I'm also happy. I never thought this would happen," he said, his voice filled with a mix of surprise and excitement. Clara smiled through her tears, feeling a wave of relief. "Really? You're not disappointed or anything?" she asked, still afraid of his reaction. John shook his head, taking her hands in his. "John, no, not at all. I'm surprised, yes, but I'm not disappointed," he said, his eyes searching hers. "This is our child, Clara. How could I be anything but happy about that?" Clara felt her heart swelling with joy as she heard his words. She squeezed his hands, tears of happiness rolling down her cheeks. "I'm glad. I was scared you would hate the idea," she said softly. "But seeing you like this, it makes me so happy." John gently pulled her into a hug, resting his chin on top of her head. "I could never hate the idea of having a child with you," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "We're in this together, Clara." Clara hugged him back, feeling a sense of comfort and belonging in his arms. She looked up at him, her eyes shining with love and hope. "Thank you for being here, for being supportive," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "I'm scared, but knowing that I have you makes everything feel a little less scary." John gently brushed away the tears from her face. "You don't have to thank me. We're in this together," he repeated, his voice firm but filled with love. "And I'm here for you, every step of the way. We'll figure things out together," he promised, holding her tightly. Clara felt her heart swelling with love and gratitude. She knew that they still had a lot to figure out, but the fact that he was by her side made all her fears seem smaller. "I love you, John," she said softly, looking up at him with teary but shining eyes. "I don't know what the future holds, but I'm glad we're facing it together." John smiled down at her, his eyes filled with affection. "I love you too, Clara," he said, his heart feeling fuller than ever before. He bent down and kissed her forehead gently. His lips lingered there for a bit. "No matter what happens, we'll face it together, as a family." Clara closed her eyes, feeling his warm breath on her skin. She snuggled closer to him, feeling safe and loved in his arms. "Clara, we're going to be such great parents," she said, her voice filled with confidence and joy. "And our child will be so lucky to have you as a father." John's heart felt like it was going to burst with happiness as he heard her words. He held her close, his eyes filled with adoration for her, John. "And they'll be lucky to have you as a mother too," he said softly, his hand gently rubbing circles on her back. "I can't wait to see you become a mom. You're going to be amazing." Clara smiled, feeling tears of joy rolling down her cheeks. "Clara, you think so?" she asked, her voice filled with a hint of uncertainty. "I've always wanted to be a mom, but it's so scary. Pregnancy and giving birth. I don't know if I'm strong enough." John lifted her chin up, making her look at him. "John, Clara, you're the strongest person I know," he said earnestly. "You'll be a great mother, and you'll go through pregnancy and birth with flying colors. I'll be there every step of the way, supporting you and loving you." He gently wiped away her tears. "You can do this. I believe in you." Clara's heart swelled with love and appreciation for him. She could feel the sincerity in his words, the unwavering belief he had in her. "Clara, thank you for believing in me," she said softly, her voice filled with gratitude. "I'm still scared, but knowing that I have you beside me makes it all feels less overwhelming." John chuckled softly, still rubbing circles on her back. "You don't have to thank me. I'm just telling you that